Could it be possible that Alinus and Durin, abyssal dragons, were once dragons of the light? And more specifically, were they once the dragon sovereigns or related to the dragon sovereigns that the primordial one defeated? This link comes specifically from one place, Neuvillette voice line about Vishaps, sharing the blood of their deceased brethren. When we speak with Alinus, he says that he was once happy when he realized Jacob and Renee would enter his body and drink his blood, and hoped this would do them good. If Alinus was once a Vishap, it's possible he was remembering the same tradition that Neuvillette described. In the Byaku Yakoku collection, we learn quite a bit about Vishaps and the dragon sovereigns. In Before Sun and Moon, it is mentioned twice what happened to the defeated dragons. The mountains and the rivers were made, and the seas and the oceans accepted those who rebelled and those who would not kneel. And the people of the seven sovereigns had found refuge in the oceans, and the dragonaires of the depths ruled this particular place. This creates a strong link between dragons and water. Neuvillette refers to himself and his brethren as hydro-organisms. Osile, a god Rex Lapis defeated, was a serpent composed of water. Enconomians, while they originally worshipped the god of wind and time, was also strongly influenced by water, as explained in hydrological studies of the Byaku Yakoku. In Baptismal Vishap experimental records, Genshin theorists were led to believe Kokomi was the prophesied human-born dragon sovereign of water. This made sense as she had a hydrovision, was an Enconomian descendant, and Watatsumi has a lot of water motifs. However, it turned out that Neuvillette was in fact this prophesied hydro dragon born in a human form, which begs the question, why does Watatsumi have such heavily inspired water motifs? The only real in-game explanation is that the island of Watatsumi was created from a piece of Orobashi, meaning that Orobashi himself was a serpent of water very similar to Osile. These people of the seven sovereigns could possibly refer to Conrians, as they are people who rebelled and would not kneel. It could also be Enconomians with all the hydro motifs, the abundance of Vishaps, and their discovery that Vishaps could appear remarkably human after several generations. However, it is unlikely that any humans came from dragons, as in Baptismal Vishap experimental records, it makes clear that dragons are creatures of the light realm and that humans are of their own realm. Curiously, Orobashi is also of the human realm, meaning he too is unlikely to be part of the people of the seven sovereigns. In the same records, the Enconomians researchers found that Vishaps carry seeds that carry traits that can be passed down to descendants. This is likely just Genshin's version of DNA, but it is curious that it was mentioned, and it's also mentioned that mothers can create new seeds to pass on to their descendants should they face new challenging environments. It's possible that the blood drinking tradition mentioned by Neuvillette helps Vishaps share their seeds with their brethren, and if Alinus was once a dragon of the light realm, it would add another meaning for the tokens the Melazines have when they're born. These tokens not coming from Alinus, but from the mechanical parts from blown apart Fontanian automations. Perhaps because these automations were powered by Pneumosia and Indemnimium, both hydro power sources. Perhaps Alinus' Vishap origins, Jacob and Renee's abyssal sabotage, and the hydro in its pure form came together to create new life in the form of the Melazines. Hydro does appear to have a life-giving quality. In fact, Neuvillette, a true dragon sovereign, views Melazines as the finest example of a new sort of hydro-Vishap species. This means, despite Melazines being born from the remnants of an abyssal dragon, Neuvillette recognizes Melazines and therefore Alinus as the dragon of the light realm, at least in name.